This is to talk about the hydraulic hammer arresters from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and then, that's what's installed in here. And they were commonly installed in builds like this to keep slab leaks from happening and to keep the ripping from having to rip open the slab and fix copper piping leaks. If you don't know what a hydraulic hammer is, when a valve shuts someplace, kitchen sink, dishwasher, it doesn't even have to be an abrupt valve like a actuated, like a solenoid actuated valve. It can be simply a toilet bowl or toilet valve that shuts when the float rises quickly, or somebody turns the water off on a shower or a sink with these modern day faucets that are. So this is the actual hammer arrestor, hydraulic hammer arrestor, and the way it works is this is a half-inch water supply, and it goes up into this 3/4 inch copper, and you'll see it's right after, it's above the valve supply line, right? It's above the, so what happens is air gets caught in here, and there's one on the hot side and on the cold side. The point is, air gets trapped in here when a valve gets shut off quickly. And remember, it's hydraulic, so it doesn't have to happen here. Notice where it is. It's before the valve control, right? This hydraulic action could happen in some other unit in this building, 5 units away. And because it's abrupt and hydraulic, the nearest, I should say not every, but the nearest units will feel it and absorb it if it's big enough. But my point is, it doesn't have to originate from this unit. That'd be a mistake to think that. But anyway, the air's in here. When the water is shut off quickly someplace here in the unit, this acts as a compression chamber. The water jumps, the air compresses, and then it just gently pushes back down in the system someplace. If there's an open valve, otherwise it stays compressed. And you'll notice that sometimes when you turn on a faucet, like I changed the kitchen faucet, and when I first turned it on, you hear this ticking, like this put, and you can feel it in the pipes. It's definitely, and what that is the hydraulic of the water flowing through and getting caught and hitting a stop where it fills up some other valve someplace or pipe. At any rate, this complex, this is the original. All right, this complex is filled with these. And without proper maintenance, people are used to what they see nowadays in an arrestor, a hydraulic hammer arrestor. And they're not just air, they have a piston and a membrane. And sometimes they have a spring in the piston and a membrane, or they just have the pressure in the membrane and the piston. And there's zero maintenance, but they do wear out. So eventually you're ripping something open, or you have an opening where you can get to them to change them out. And they're anywhere from $15 to $30 depending. Now if you imagine this is $60 plus labor here, there are additional arresters in the wall here for the sink and the toilet. Every unit has these. These don't wear out in 8 to 10 years. They last forever, given that you do the maintenance. And the maintenance consists, what happens eventually over the years or months, the oxygen, because there's no membrane, the nitrogen and the oxygen get absorbed into the water, and the water level creeps up to where it's nearly, there's no benefit from having them. So unlike having to swap out the newer style ones, the more modern ones, and, throw stuff into the landfill and replace them, and all the labor to replace them, and, the quantity in each building, these stay here and they're permanent. And the maintenance for these is that you go to the main valve outside, turn the water off, and then get in the tub and the sink and flush the toilet and turn the sink on and turn this on, and it wears everything down. And what happens is air enters the valves and it fills these back up again, and then all of a sudden there's now air inside these, just like there was in the very beginning. And you can start your year or 2 year journey down the road to a hydraulic hammer-free unit and building, and they're specifically in place. And they're upstairs also. I showed you another video where they're in the wall in the main water supply. They're in here specifically to keep everybody from having to rip open, to keep the slab leaks and the moisture, because some of the HOA, like Patrick McCann and others, say, well, it's the tenant's fault that there's humidity inside your unit that didn't exist while it was built and didn't exist for a decade or so after, but just magically, because there was no maintenance done, magically the humidity started happening out of nowhere because Earth changed and the physics of Earth changed somewhere. There's just endless bullshit from people. The bottom line is these hydraulic hammer arresters were not maintained, and what happened was the slabs started leaking, because I've done the calculations in another email. 750 hammers a day, bare minimum. 22,000 a month, roughly. You're bound to rip open the copper in the slab. And then when you have a slab leak, it leaks through, and all of a sudden there's humidity inside here. And if you are ignorant to architecture and building, well, then you're costing everybody millions and ruining profits for owners that are renting, and disrupting tenants unnecessarily, putting their health at risk, and then blaming the tenants or the owners for the problem.